Hello and welcome to DROIX. In this video we are taking a look at the Anbernic RG351V retro gaming handheld. We will be unboxing it and showing the operating system as well as some games running on it. Let's start with the unboxing. Inside we have the RG351V, which we will take a look at in more detail shortly. Under the packaging is a USB Type-C charge cable. We recommend using this one to charge the device. There is a user manual in full English which will get you started using the handheld. There is an additional guide which shows how to connect the device to a PC and copy games to it. There is a 64GB micro SD card which is used for the game storage. And finally there is a screen protector to apply to your RG351V, as well as some wipes to use when fitting it. The RG351V measures 5.5 by 3.7 by 1.05 inches and weighs 350 grams. On the front is a crystal clear 3.5 inch 640 by 480 IPS display. There is a D-pad and a single analog stick which is pressable as a L3 button. There is a function button which is used in combination with other buttons to perform various functions such as accessing the menu. There is a select and start button as well as 4 gaming buttons. On the left is a volume rocker. On the back you can find left and right shoulder and trigger buttons. On the right side you can find 2 micro SD card slots. One is for the game storage and the second is for the operating system. There is a reset button and a power button. And finally on the bottom you can find 2 USB Type-C ports. One of these is OTG capable. And in between them is a 3.5mm headphone port. There are 3 case colours available: grey, wood and black. I have to admit, when I first saw the picture of the wood design I thought it was pretty bad, but having it in your hands and checking out the detail, I have to say that it does look very good and it's my favourite out of the 3. The photos definitely did not do it justice. The RG351V is powered by a RockChip RK3326 Quad Core processor, which runs up to 1.5 GHz. It features the Mali G31 MP2 graphics processor. There is 1GB of DDR3L RAM. The micro SD slots support up to 256GB cards. A 16GB one is used for the operating system, and there is the included 64GB one for the game storage. There is a 3900 mAh lipolymer rechargeable battery which lasts up to 6 hours depending on the usage. This model has the built-in Wi-Fi to connect to the internet. If you have one of the original RG300 devices, you will be interested in upgrading. The case and IPS display size is larger. There is an analog joystick and of course faster processor, more RAM and more supported gaming systems which run faster and have better compatibility. The boot up process is very quick, around 18 seconds, which depends on how many games are on the card. Once booted up you are in the gaming systems menu. You can use left or right to browse them. Supported gaming systems are Nintendo DS, Final Burn supported systems, Arcade, WonderSwan, Capcom Play System 1, 2 and 3, MSX, PC Engine, NES, GameBoy, Super Nintendo, Nintendo 64, Game Boy Color and Game Boy Advance, OpenBOR, Mega Drive, Game Gear, Dreamcast, NeoGeo, NeoGeo Pocket, PlayStation and PSP. Choosing a game system will display the list of available games for it. you can navigate the list with up and down and L2 and R2 to skip a page. Pressing the select button brings up options where you can filter games, jump to a specific letter and so on. Pressing start will give you access to the main menu, and from here you are able to change many settings, including those for the front end, controller settings, the user interface, which includes settings such as themes. You can also connect to the internet via Wi-Fi for multiplayer, game data scraping and firmware updates. If you add new games to the device, you can connect to the internet and download game images and information on the game, which is displayed alongside the game. You can update themes and both check for and install any firmware on this option. The quit menu is important, as you should always shut down the device correctly when possible. We recommend using the shutdown system option. While in game, you can hold the L3 and press the function button to access the RetroArch menus. From here, you can access a wealth of options and functions. You can, for example, use save states to save your position in a game and come back to it later exactly where you left off by loading it. It is also useful for tricky parts of the game where you can reload and try again. A great feature is the ability to connect to the internet and play with others in supported systems and games with 2 or more players. One person is the host and others can easily connect to them through the RetroArch menu. It works amazingly well and is great fun. Now we will take a look at some of the gaming systems and their performance on the RG351V. We start with Final Burn and Alien Storm. There's many games for this emulator and overall I had no issues whilst playing them. Arcade emulation via MAME is also very good. There are thousands of games that are very playable on this version and the ones that I tried worked very well. We will jump straight to the Capcom Play System 3 as 1 and 2 run great. CPS 3 also plays very well and you should have no problems enjoying a few rounds of Street Fighter 3 Third Strike. 8-bit systems have absolutely no issues at all, so to save time we won't show all of them. PC Engine games look great on the IPS display and all play exactly how they would have on the original console. And for 16-bit consoles you should also have no major issues. Mega Drive games, for example, look and play great. You may find some of the Super Nintendo games which have custom chips. They may have some minor performance issues, but the vast majority run great. Dreamcast is still in the position where some games run great and some will have performance issues. This is pretty much the same for devices of this specification. There are however many games that run great and look amazing on the 3.5-inch display. PlayStation emulation is much improved in terms of compatibility and performance on the processor used on this model. Many more games run at perfect speed and are very playable with no graphics glitches. And last but not least is the PSP. With the faster processor and improved emulator, there are more playable games compared to older devices, but like the Dreamcast, you will find games that run great, whilst others suffer from performance issues. However, there is still a decent selection of games to play which run very well. The RG351 series, which are the P model with horizontal plastic case and no Wi-Fi, M model with horizontal metal case and Wi-Fi, and finally the new V model with vertical case and Wi-Fi. All perform exactly the same. The only change is essentially the style of case and orientation. So this should be the deciding factor when choosing the model best suited for you. All 3 models are great fun to play and come with an extremely large selection of gaming systems and games. And with the M and V models you have built-in Wi-Fi, which is great for keeping up to date and multiplayer gaming. Either model is highly recommended. That wraps up this video on the RG351V. We hope you found it useful. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe to keep up to date on future videos. Thanks for watching, and we hope to see you in the next one.